Good afternoon. My name is Nancy, and I'm here with another needle quilting tutorial. One moment as I set down my phone. I apologize for any noise that might make setting that down. And today I'm going to be showing the basics of how to make a snowman. Yes, I know it is June. It's June 2020, and as everybody knows, the pandemic's been going on. And I actually had planned on doing this video, oh gosh, months ago. And I do want to take a moment to apologize to my friend Terry. Terry, I am so sorry it took so long to make this video, but I'm finally getting a chance, so we're going to do it today. And some people may think I'm nuts for making snowmen in the summertime, but that's just me. I love making snowmen, and I actually make them all year round. Back when I was first new to needle felting, snowman is very basic. You're just making round balls, and it's a really good way to learn some techniques. And I appreciate you joining me here today to make one, and I hope I can teach you something. First of all, you're going to need your supplies. Now what I do is I use Poly-fil. And you can buy that at Walmart, various craft stores, Michael's, Joann's. I think Hobby Lobby might have it. Now, what I do is, I'm showing you the bag there. My husband and I had gone to Joann's a few months ago, and we found one of those big jumbo boxes, and it actually broke down to be the better bargain, because I needle felt with Poly-fil all the time. Alright, you're going to want a pad of some sort, felting pad, and you're going to want some fingertip protectors. I highly recommend those. Back when I was still new to needle felting, I hadn't bought any of those yet. Oh boy, trust me, you're going to want them. And what I'm using is a 3 needle tool. This, I believe, was either a Michael's or a Joann's purchase. But now you'll notice there's a red line on there. I took some red fingernail polish and I just painted that red line. This one I use strictly for felting my Poly-fil. That's just something I do. I organize my tools because I have another 3 needle tool that I just apply the wool to the Poly-fil. But this one I just keep straight for Poly-fil. That's just me. Or what you could do if you don't have one, you could make your own 3 needle tool. Now this is a single one that I got out of a kit, like my first ever kit. I still have it. And then I bought some other kits since then. Back when I was still new to needle felting, I was doing kits. Hi Kitty Bit. Speaking of kit. Hi Vivi. And what I did was stealing some ideas off of other YouTubes I watched. I just took some rubber bands and just rubber banded the handles. And this is also great for applying the wool to your Poly-fil. So, that's one thing you can do is whenever you buy a kit, always save your needles. Alright, and then I have a technique where I use stick pins to hold body parts together. That's a technique of mine. If you've watched other tutorials I have put out, you've already seen this technique. And these are the good old-fashioned stick pins. You might remember these from home ec class. Your mom might have had some, grandma might have had them, or you might actually have them in your sewing box. You can use those. Now I have found though for the snowmen that quilting pins are a little bit longer, and I have found that these work better. Hi Kitty Bit. Can you get out of the shot please? Come on, get out of the shot. Go on. Okay, quilting pins are going to be a little bit longer, and actually these will hold better. So I recommend getting these that, I said they hold better. You can use the other shorter stick pins, but the longer quilting pins I have found work better. And for the arms, what I do is I use pipe cleaners. So you're going to want pipe cleaners, some needle nose pliers with wire cutting option on there. And then you might want to use some glue later. I use just good old Elmer's glue. And it's not necessary, but you might want a ruler. This kind of helps make your arms even, and I'll show that as we're going along. And what you need to do is, bear with me, sorry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and angle my phone down a little bit so that you can see. Okay, now hopefully this won't fall over. Alright, that way you can see what I'm doing better. Slip it on your fingertip protectors. Okay, get your 3-needle tool ready to go. Now what I do is, okay, I'm not going to start with that much. That's way too much. I'm just picking off just a little bit. And now I have put out a video of how to use Poly-fil for cores. If you'd like to watch that, I greatly appreciate it. Now at that time, I actually did that video like, oh gosh, like last year. I had not developed this technique yet. Now this is a technique, I just took like a little puff, and all I'm doing is rolling it in my hands and just trying to form a ball. And this will help get your Poly-fil started faster. Like I said, at the time I had made the video, I hadn't developed this trick yet. And that's one of the fun things about needle felting, is the more and more you do it, the more techniques you will develop. Sometimes you develop your own tricks, watching other people's videos, you pick up, tricks and stuff. And I hope this is a good trick for you. I hope this works for you. Okay, and then once you get yourself like just a good ball going, all you're going to simply do is just, in between your finger and your thumb, carefully, just start felting. Now the trick to Poly-fil too is to keep rotating and rotating. You don't ever want to felt too long in one spot, because Poly-fil gets, it's kind of hard to describe, it kind of like gets hard, like kind of crunchy. So try not to felt too long in just one spot, unless it is something you are intending, which I will show you in a few minutes. We are going to do that intentionally. Alright, and then just keep rotating, rotating, and it'll start firming up and firming up. And then what you want to do, get yourself just a good little firm ball started, is get yourself just a little bit more. And we're talking just, not even that much, just a little bit more. And then just a little bit at a time, lay it on top, hold it down, and just start felting some more. Now people ask me sometimes why I don't use core wool very much, or I don't use it in my videos. Now back when I was still new to needle felting, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know what to buy, I'd gone online, I'm looking for supplies, I'm looking up needles, I'm looking up core wool, this, that, and the other, just trying to figure out what to buy and what to get. Now to me, now this is just me and my budget, core wool was kind of expensive. It was just, one of those things. So after watching several tutorials on YouTube, I had discovered, you could use Poly-fil as a core. So actually I happened to have a bag around here, got it out, and just went to town, just started using it. Like I said, it took me a while to get the hang of it and start developing. Okay, that's a jet going overhead. If y'all are picking up on a jet, I live right by the Nellis Air Force Base. So, okay, that was a quick one. I apologize for the interruption. I can't ever pick when the jets are going to take off, so I just take my chances when I do my tutorials. But anyway, like I said, to me, core wool, like I said, back when I first started needle felting, was just a little bit on the expensive side. So I started using Poly-fil. But then my very good friend Terry, that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, now bless her heart, she has a wool supplier that she gets core wool from. And, she kind of, hooked me up and everything. And bless her heart, she actually sent me some core wool to try, which I just greatly, greatly appreciate. And I've made, a few things with it. And what I'm trying to do is, being such a cheapskate, I'm actually trying to make it last as long as I possibly can. That's just me. I'm just, I just didn't want to use it all up like within 2 or 3 weeks or whatever and just go crazy, use it all up. So I do use it. It's just on my videos, I just show the Poly-fil method. Like I said, this is just me, just my method. I said it's a great budget saver. Now what you could do too is, as you're felting your polyfill for your cores, what you could do in order to just save money if you want is, depending on the size of the project you're making. Okay, so like, let's just pretend you're going to make a pumpkin out of this. You can form yourself a pretty good sized ball, and then take your core wool, wrap it around your polyfill, felt it down, and you just saved, like I said, let's pretend you made a really big pumpkin. You could really save a lot of core wool just by making yourself a polyfill core, and then wrap it with your core wool. All right, and all we're doing here is just felting and just adding and adding, getting bigger and bigger until you get a pretty good base size. I mean, actually, I'm almost to that size right now. And you know what I'm going to do is, I could go ahead and just use that for the head because I've already got the base. I was practicing ahead of time, and I went ahead and made some body parts ahead of time. Okay, now what you want to do is, on your base part, once you get a pretty good base size, this is that part where you can felt in one spot. What I'll do is take my ball, kind of roll it around, and I'll see where it lands naturally. And it's kind of like landing, okay. It's kind of like just landing right there. So what I'm going to do is, I pick it up, I flip it over. Now this is where you want to felt in one spot. And just felt. And you're going to start forming a flat edge. And that will be the base of your pumpkin. Talk about pumpkins. Your snowman. That'll help your snowman sit flat. And then makes it easier to build up on top of them. So get yourself a good flat base going. All right, and that'll be your base. All right, and like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and use that for the head since I've already made it. Now for your middle part, okay, this is where your arms are going to be. What you're going to do is, okay, go ahead and just get your little bit of fluff. Okay. All right, now what I do is take my pipe cleaner, fold it in half. That'll kind of give you an idea of where your middle section is going to be. Okay, and just lay that down. And then kind of like, put some fluff around it. Okay. And what you have to do, obviously, is you have to, hold on to it. Now what you want to do is start felting it down, but kind of go gentle. Don't start, like whacking away, getting too hard with it. Because as you're felting down, you don't really want to start doing it really hard. Because when you hit the metal piece inside the pipe cleaner, it is possible for you to, break off the tip of one of your needles. So just go gently. I mean, I'm just barely tapping. And all I'm doing is forming the polyfill around the U-shape, middle part of the pipe cleaner. And then all you're doing is, just keep turning and turning. Get it all the way around. Now, as you can see, I'm coming from the side, too. That kind of helps form the ball. Then, of course, don't forget to turn it. And get your other arm. And basically, all you're doing is, like I said, just don't, no need to get too crazy with it. Do it gently. And that will start forming your ball around your arms. And then just like the base I was just doing, or the head that I ended up with, all you got to do is, once you get this all, tucked in, felted down, I still got some fluff there. Hi, kitty bit. My co-star is back. Hi, kitty bit. What you want, baby? What do you want? And Kitty Bit's my co-star today. And like I said, get all the loose fluff. And, okay, you can actually set that down like that. Now, once you get all the loose fluff and you get yourself a pretty good ball forming there. Okay, like I said, turn it around, get this side. I said, just be gentle. No need to get crazy with it. Alright, and that's going to be your middle part. And then all you're going to do, like I said, just like on the head there I was showing you. Now what I do is take even smaller pieces, and just a little bit at a time. Just hold it down in between your thumb and finger. I said this is a great place for you to use fingertip protectors. Alright, and then I'm just rolling it, rotate, like I said, get all the fluff and the fuzz. And that's basically all you're doing, is just felting it down, add a little more. Felt it down, add a little more. Okay, now normally I would obviously do this a lot longer, but just for demonstration purposes, that gives you an idea. I said just keep felting and felting until you get it to form ball. Like I said, just like the head that I came with and the base. Okay, so next you want to join your body parts. So go ahead and take your base. Well, actually you don't really need the... Okay, take your base. Now what I do is just take a pinch of Poly-fil. And if you've watched other tutorials, you'll see that they'll take, like when you're using regular wool, always take a piece of Poly-fil or wool, whichever one you're using, and just put it like in between the body parts that you're joining, and that helps felt and join your body parts. Okay, this is the head. Okay, and I'm going to put that there. I'm going to make that the middle. Okay, now this is where your pins come in. Then what I'm doing is kind of close down to the bottom of the round part. Okay, I'm trying to do this without looking, so I hope I'm hope I'm demonstrating that pretty good. But all I'm doing is just basically going in at an angle and just pinning these together, and this will help hold. Okay, I said just helps hold your body parts together. Now it takes a minute, but it's worth it. It makes it so much easier. Back when I was still, like I said, still new and still learning, I hadn't developed this trick yet. So when I would go to make snowmen, I would have to like try to hold it and felt it. And then the good thing about it too is once you get it all pinned, if you need to get up and step away, go do something, it's all pinned together. It's still holding when you come back. Okay. I'm going to move that one. And like I said, what you want to do is, like I said, try to get down and, like I said, going in an angle, and that'll kind of hold it. And then it just makes it so much easier to felt it. And I didn't get my bottom very even. My snowman is tilting. Okay, so I'm just making this a little bit flatter because he's kind of wanting to tilt forward. Okay. Now that will happen. When it does, just pick it up and just felt it a little bit flatter. That's another good thing too, is I got it, pinned on there, so as I'm flattening this, it's not falling off. There we go. Okay, this guy. Okay, why? Oh, I see. Okay, this is like still rounded in the back. That's why he's not sitting up flat. I think I see what I did. All I'm doing is just making this flatter and flatter. Okay, let me try that. Oops. Okay, some of my pins came loose. That's okay. Just push them down in. Alright. There we go. Now he's sitting a little lopsided, but you can always fine tune it later too. There we go. Okay, why? Oh, I see. I overfelt it in the front is what I did. Okay, so let me do this. I overfelted the front a little bit. I'm going to add some more here where I overfelted. Okay. I'm just adding a little bit. to try and even them back out. There we go. Apparently I overfelted the front a little bit too much. Alright, let's see if that... Okay. Still not perfectly flat, but like I said, I could always fine-tune it later. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble doing this. I make snowmen all the time. You think I know what I'm doing. For some reason, he is not wanting to sit flat. Okay. So once you get your middle part, like I said, pinned to your bottom part, you can take either your single needle. And what you're doing is you want to come in at an angle and just start felting the head down to the middle part. Now what you could do too, you could use your single needle, just to get the hang of it, learn the technique or whatever. But to make it faster, what I do sometimes is use my 3-needle tool, and that just makes it faster. And the polyfil is like so soft, and it's so easy to just, like I said, use your 3-needle tool here and just, like I said, go in at an angle and just felt it and felt it. Now another trick too is, okay, that came loose. When your pins start coming loose, all you gotta do is just push them back in. Now another trick I'm doing too, I don't know if you can tell, is I'm holding this middle part down and I'm squishing it down at the same time. And that's a little trick that'll help you a little bit. Now once you go around and around and around several times, another trick you can do is you can go this way at it. This will help attach the bottom to the middle. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm pushing down. Now as you're doing this, you might actually he'll hit your quilting pins there, and they'll come, they'll start coming out. Just go ahead and push them back down in. And that's basically all you're doing, is just joining the two body parts together. And like I said, you want to do that like for a long time. Now there's some fuzz there that I missed. So since I missed that fuzz, I'm going to go back in and get that fuzz. But this is just one of those things you need to just, once you do it like a couple of times, then you'll get the hang of it. And then you'll figure out, okay, I still got some fuzz hanging out, need to tuck that in. And just start felting it, like I said, just felting it together. Like I said, make sure you're going in at an angle. All right? Then after you get your middle attached to your bottom, then you're just going to do your head the same way. Just take a little piece of fuzz. We're talking just a little piece. Little piece of fuzz. Put your head on. Pin it. And then just, like I said, felt it around and around. And like I said, now polyfil, okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say it's like a 2-minute project. You're not going to get it done in 5 minutes. It does take time. Okay, but if you're willing to take the time, it is well worth, like I said, it's a great bargain. Okay. Now this is one I was practicing earlier. I've already got them joined and went ahead and took the needles out, and that's my basic body of a snowman. Now normally what I do is go ahead and put the face on and the hat and scarf and then do the arms last. But let me go ahead and I'll show you the arms, okay? Or at least the way I do them. Now this is where your ruler will come in, because sometimes when you're doing your arms and stuff, you'll notice that actually like one will be longer than the other one. Now what you could do if that happens is just pull gently on the short end and just pull the long end of, through to where you get like even. And then what you can do to make sure you're even is take your ruler and then just check both sides. Now at this point, okay, and they're both about 5 inches. But like I said, say, one is shorter than the other one, just pull gently on the pipe cleaner. Don't yank it, because then you'll yank it out. Just pull it real gentle, and you can get them lined up. And then what you want to do, what I do is I just go ahead and bend it at the end, see about how long I want the fingers to be or whatever. And I'm going to say, right about there should be long enough. Then take the wire cutter part of your needle nose pliers. Now to make sure this is even, is I go ahead and open it up, put it on the other hand, and I cut it right at the same spot. And then that way they're somewhat even. Okay, now, anytime you're working with wire, pipe cleaners, any sort of wire in needle felting, always make sure to get some needle nose pliers and bend over the little pointy end there. And then what you want to do is, like I said, just the very, very end, just bend it over and then pinch it. Now what I do after I pinch it too is I go ahead and check to make sure I got it all. Because there have been times I've done it, been distracted and not noticing, and it's like still like scratchy, like the pointy part is still sticking out. So anytime you're working with any wire whatsoever, like if you're doing wire for an armature, and even if your wire is going to be like in the middle of your work, and you think, it's not going to stick out or whatever, somehow, some way, wire always has a way of working its way out. So I said, always bend your little ends over. And I said, check them, make sure you got them. I said, just bend over and pinch. Check to make sure you got them. Okay. Okay. And then what I do is, now this is where your glue comes in. You can use glue if you want, or if not, you don't have to. But I take, and I just bend them into a little V. Okay. Just bend them into a little V. And then on the arms, I just hold them up to where the arm is sticking out a little bit longer. Then what I do, this is kind of tricky, is fold it, bend it around the V, and just bring it up. Now at this point, you might want to do this first and make sure that's about as long as you want. Okay, make sure that's as long as you want. Then what you can do is unfold it back. And then what I do is I put just a dotted glue into my V, and then just twist the arm back on. And just that dot of glue just gives you that little bit of extra hold. It's not really necessary, but okay, say like if somebody picked up your snowman and they're looking at it, without the glue, they can actually like move the fingers. So you might want to go ahead and glue them if you want them to stay stationary. All right, and then just do the same thing over here. Okay, now say for some reason you wanted to do like 5 fingers, then what you can do is take another pipe cleaner, okay, and line it up, making sure they're the same length. Okay, cut. Make sure you're bending over your little tips there. Hi, Sugar. Sugar's up here too. Sugar's our little baby. Okay. And then what you can do is put those together. Bend them into a V. Okay, now this is going to look funny because it's really short arms, but bend it into a V. Okay, and then bend your arm over, like I said, around the V. This is kind of fiddly. There we go. And then that will give you a 5-finger look if you want 5 fingers. Or you could just, leave it at 3. A lot of times I just do the 3 because it's just quicker and easier. And that is the basics of how to make a basic snowman. Now what I'm doing is I am splitting this tutorial up into a couple of different parts. I figured that way it would be easier if you would care to make one of my snowmen and say you already know how to do the body part, but then you forget one of the features on the face, or how did I make the hat or whatever, then you can pick out just that separate video and watch that. Okay, or maybe you already know how to make snowman faces and you just wanted to see how I made a snowman body. Well, this is part 1, how I make a basic snowman body. Alrighty, and I greatly appreciate y'all tuning in. Terry, I greatly appreciate your patience. I'm sorry it took so long to get this made, hun. And like I said, I am going to make another part. Part 2 will be the face. And I might go ahead and do the hat in part 2. And then part 3, I will show a scarf and a hat. Okay, that is my plan. So I hope you tune in for how to make a basic snowman part 2. Alright, thanks for watching. And y'all have a great day. And I'll be looking for you. Or be looking for my video. Part 2, how to make a basic snowman. Thank you.